Hey everybody, it's Reviews More, back with another quick review. This time it's on the WAERATOR brand 3-in-1 electric corkscrew, foil cutter, and vacuum sealer. So this item I purchased, it was about $35 total. I think you can find a little more, a little less depending on the location. And this is going to be a quick demonstration and review. Spoiler, if you want to know my opinion of it, I returned it. There was no reason for me to have it at this point, and it's because the functionality of it's either the battery or the lack of torque that it has, or some combination thereof, that makes it a very inconvenient item to be using. The only way I could see it really being truly functional is if possibly you're in a position where you need something and you can't functionally turn a corkscrew properly, or whether through arthritis or loss of any appendage, that kind of stuff. So maybe that could be a situation. But as far as convenience, it's just too much. It's too burdensome, and it's so much simpler just to use like a rabbit or something else at a similar price point. So you saw me kind of run through there with the foil cutter, and you see there on the right hand side the vacuum sealing tops. So real quickly, just the foil cutter. It's a standard foil cutter, guys. There's nothing really special about it. You squeeze the sides, turn it several times, and eventually it'll cut through the foil and pop that top right off. I will say at this point, so many bottles of wine, cheap and expensive, I've noticed now have the little foil tabs. You just kind of pull them off. So this is a cool thing. I mean, it's nice that they have it in there. It connects directly onto the WAERATOR corkscrew, so you don't have to worry about losing it, but it pops it right off. So nothing super special about it, but it definitely does work. Now here's where we start having problems. It's advertised in the instructions, like I say, it comes with a full charge. I don't know if maybe this thing just sat in a bin too long or something, and just was on a shelf and eventually got sold to me. But the charge was basically gone, and I'm trying to make it work. Right now, it should be just acting like there's a little plunger mechanism inside there, and all it takes is that to be used even slightly, or just touched and adjusted, and it'll start the corkscrew, and it won't go. There's just no motion whatsoever. And this happens multiple times, even after, and at one point I charged it for 4+ hours and it still did not have enough power to get through. And this is a lithium charged battery, so this to me represents a fundamental flaw in the item, and that is that it's got to have a really strong charge to work. That means that you've got to basically keep that thing charged, which for a convenience item is kind of annoying to have to always have this thing plugged into your wall. And there's the sound it makes, and just so you could tell, it kind of worked. I got it about maybe a 1/4 inch into it, maybe a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch into the cork, and then it just stopped. There just wasn't enough torque, not enough charge to get it through, which indicates that it's going to be a battery sucker. It's just going to be something that is going to need to be constantly recharged, although on the box it says it can last for 45 uses before it needs recharging. I don't think that would be accurate, in my case at least. Alright, so that was the first successful decorking, and here you see me recorking it with my thumb and just doing it again to see if maybe I can repeat it. And it does work both times, but this is after it's been charged on the charger for 24 hours. So after that took place, I finally got to work, and since then it has also started to lose some of that oomph, so it's not getting through anymore, and it's getting stuck. So the worst thing that can happen to you if you're uncorking wine is obviously breaking the cork, because then it becomes very difficult to get out, and that's a risk with these things, because what's going to happen is it's not going to tell you when it's about to lose its power, and as a result you're going to get that corkscrew halfway to where it needs to be, try to pull it up, and it's going to snap the cork. Thankfully that particular cork was a synthetic cork, so you don't got to worry about that so much, but it is something to consider. And the last thing here is how we use the vacuum sealer. The way we do this is we turn the WAERATOR corkscrew upside down, and there's a little nub that kind of fits into the stopper here, and you press and hold the W button, and it'll suck out air, vacuum out air until it reaches the perfect PSI, and then it'll just stop working from there. Now, in my opinion, this is not worth the purchase. For anyone who's able-bodied who can use like one of those fancy rabbit-style corkscrews, you can get those for like $50. This thing was $35. You can sometimes see them higher price, closer to $50. WAERATOR makes other stuff. I don't know if this is just kind of a dud that I got. I fully anticipate that I'll get comments from people saying, mine works just fine, mine works just fine. And I totally believe you. I believe yours works fine. I think that's probably completely accurate what you're saying. But what's also true is that if this is a QC issue, you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get one that was like mine that requires to have like a full charge constantly, or if you're going to get someone else's whose works perfect every time, has been going strong for 3 years or whatever. And that's a QC issue. And that, to me, is a huge turnoff whenever you're buying electronics, because if one electronic is working fine and another electronic device is working very poorly, it means that at best you might have a good product for a little while before it starts to kind of crap out on you. So I would avoid this particular product. I will say this: the vacuum sealer function works just fine. The corkscrew did work okay with a full charge, but the convenience factor is completely lost by virtue of it not maintaining battery life very well. And I did some research after the fact and found that there's similar reviews and similar complaints on various websites, including Amazon. There was a few other ones on, like, I think Total Wines, I think, might have had some reviews on there weren't too positive. But overall, I wouldn't buy this one. It's not quite worthwhile, but cool idea. It's a great idea. If they could just get the execution a little bit better, maybe improve the battery life, improve the motor on it so it actually can power through those corks a little easier and actually reach that advertised 45 bottles uncorked before it needs it charged. But from what I can tell, the battery is either not high enough quality to maintain the charge over time, or it just can't, or the motor on the actual electronic device simply can't push through well enough. But that's my review, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out. Thanks for watching.